from the trees and grew tall, and they started talking, and the stars fell out of the sky, and my tears rolled into the ocean, and now I'm looking for a reason why you even set my world into motion. 'Cause if you're not really here, then the stars don't even matter. Now I'm filled to the top with fear that it's all just a bunch of matter. 'Cause if you're not really here, then I don't wanna be either. I wanna be next to you. Black and gold, black and gold, black and gold. I look up into the night sky. I see 1,000 eyes staring back, and all around these golden beacons I see nothing but black. I feel the weight of something beyond them. I don't see what I can feel. If vision is the only validation, then most of my life isn't real. 'Cause if you're not really here.
You never know what any day is going to entail. So at the moment we've got the lady from the housing looking after the tenant, and because her dog is basically shaking and barking, I'm basically walking her around a lot. But it's keeping her quiet and it's keeping her out of the way of the removals lads. It's all good.
Now I'm filled to the top with fear that it's all just a bunch of matter. 'Cause if you're not really here, then I don't wanna be either. I wanna be next to you. Black and gold, black and gold, black and gold.
Okay, so it's 10:46. Both the return properties are open. We've got 2 handymen down there working. I've got 2 removal teams getting the first move out of the way. I'm about to walk back up to the original properties and also my car, so I can have a drink of my juice and just have 5 minutes to sit down basically. Taken 2, 4, 6 meter readings confirmed. One of the property had a slight smell of gas on an outside gas meter, so that's been reported to Transco. General business, basically people I've been dealing with today are 2 handymen or snaggers, numerous removals lads, lady from Housing 21, well the 2 temporary moves officers which are like liaison officers, and been into another property from a lady that moved back last week. Very surly Irish lady, trying to get us involved in all sorts of things for herself, and basically she's quite an active lady.
Really here. I don't wanna be either. I wanna be next to you. Black and gold, black and gold.
So this lady's
black
got
and gold.
23, let's just say. She's put in for a permanent move, but she's still sort of pretty much demanding and getting arsy about everything having done for her. She's sort of semi-active, but she's even got a sort of a council care worker in doing all her ironing, which is very cheeky.
Usually dodge, usually bubble. That's when I start promising the world to a brand new girl I don't even know yet. Next thing she's wearing my Rolex. Usually drink, usually dance, usually bubble. Usually drink, usually dance, usually bubble. Usually drink, usually dance, usually bubble.
Hello, it's Andy, TLO from Bullock. I'm just putting a test call through from the lounge at 27 Holly.
Yeah, that's coming through absolutely fine, Andy.
Cheers, thanks very much.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye. Okay.
Tell you I love. All I want to do is tell you I love you.
That's when I start promising the world to a brand new girl I don't even know yet. Next thing she's wearing my Rolex. Too much shouts, don't know where my phone is. Here's my number, she already knows it. This chapter's a lot, better close it. Just to look in her eye was so evil. Riley's a party guy and she knows it.
What would we do?
Usually drink, usually dance, usually
All
bubble.
I want to do is tell you I love you.
That's when I start promising the world to a brand new girl I don't even know yet. Next thing she's wearing my Rolex.
What would we do?
Usually drink, usually dance, usually bubble. Usually drink, usually dance, usually
What
bubble.
would we do?
Usually drink, usually dance, usually bubble.
That's my brain bag, isn't it? Very good, these people.
They're very
Have they
efficient.
all Rolex?
These are a different company. They're called Movers Transport.
I don't know what's in that box.
It's alright.
I don't know.
We'll take everything with us down to the other one. Is there anything you're going to need for the next hour or so?
No, she's bringing me some sandwiches. I was going to put some up.
No, that's
I've been up half the night.
Yeah.
worrying. It's a terrible people.
I mean, as you can see, we're cracking on nicely.
You're absolutely wonderful.
We've only been in about half an hour or
I
so.
nearly finished it in
I
here
know.
anyway.
Really?
I do appreciate what you do, but it's been
I know.
a great stress for me.
It's not easy for a lot of people. The
Just
artists
tell you
are
I
easy.
love you.
That's when I start promising the world to a brand new girl I don't even know yet. Next thing she's wearing my Rolex. Too much shouts, don't know where my phone is. Here's my number, she already knows it. This chapter's a lot, better close it. Just to look in her eye was so evil. Riley's a party guy and she knows it.
What would we do?
Usually drink, usually dance, usually
All I
bubble.
want to do is tell you I love you.
That's when I start promising the world to a brand new girl I don't even know yet. Next thing she's wearing my Rolex.
What would we do? What would we do? All I want to do is tell you I love you.
That's when I start promising the world to a brand new girl I don't even know yet. Next thing she's wearing my Rolex. Too much shouts, don't know where my phone is. Here's my number, she already knows it. This chapter's a lot, better close it. Just to look in her eye was so evil. Riley's a party guy and
Okay, so it's now 4 minutes past 12 noon. The lady on the second property start, we've had a few issues with. She's adamant about staying in the property. She's on about 14 medications a day. She does worry a lot. I think she's in her early 80s. But unfortunately she wouldn't go to a scheme that we've got around the corner. But I do believe that one of the ladies, Gail from Housing 21, is providing, she's going to go for some sandwiches and get some drinks for her as well. We've got 2 or 3 lads in the property at the moment doing the move itself, so that is going very well. But she does tend to repeat herself a lot and she is very worried about a lot of things, but she has been adamant about staying in the property itself whilst all the move's done. She's given me letters with regards to Southern Electric, which she's adamant was a bill but wasn't. It's just about price rises. Royal Mail standard letter about extending your redirection, which obviously she doesn't need to do because she's moving back. Otherwise we'd have sorted that. She's got a bill from British Gas, which is for £105. It says please pay now. It's a typical gas bill from any utility company. These are generically worded. I assume that they assume that a majority of their customers are sort of probably 18 to 60 or whatever, and very comptus mentis. But again, you do get letters like this also from TV licensing, which go to a lot of elderly tenants which don't understand them. And this is actually, to be fair, classed as independent living, and it's just a warden service and a warden call if they're sort of desperate for it. But there are a lot of tenants in these properties that do actually need, I wouldn't say care homes, but they do need to be in an extra care sort of environment where they do have people sort of on tap every so often. They do worry, they do a lot of malarkeys. So anyway, this bill that I've got here, it was estimated in February, March, again on the 5th of March, and it's been actually read on the 30th of April. So I can only assume she's got £98 worth of bill on the back, and then I assume the rest of it's VAT, not so value added tax. So again, I'll take that to Christina at the office and explain the situation, but I can also check the meter readings that she's got on there. I will need to come back in a bit just to check that they have finished off and they have taken absolutely everything out of the property, and make sure I've got her final, absolutely final correct meter readings. I'll take photos of the gas and electric meters in that property. I'll make sure that the tenant's okay. There'll be a TMO from Housing 21, make sure the tenant's okay. We'll also check when she gets back to number 27 Holly Grove that I've installed GSM units already about an hour ago in 25 and 27. We've made sure that 27's works fine, and it does. It's gone through to the warden's mobile, which is Jenny, who's just down the road there. And we just need to go and check that 25's is working. 25, I believe, has gone back to her property now with her daughter. She begged it off to her daughters without telling us. It's about 10-15 minutes away, and she's back, so she can advise us where the wardrobe's going. Now, the issue with the wardrobes, why I wanted her to come back to the property, was that she's got, I think it's a 2 or 3 part. It's not fitted per se, but I think it does get bolted to the wall. Now, if we'd have bolted it at any random place or central, as she said to me on the phone, then no doubt she'd have come back and said, well, I want to fit a unit to the left, or I want to fit a unit to the right. So I've asked, obviously, she needs to come back because everything is back in her property, and we just need to know where she wants everything. Again, for both of these, I need to make an appointment to come and see them both in about 7 days' time to do their TSQ, which is a tenant satisfaction questionnaire. And also, with snagging, we're supposed to sort of do that on the 7 days as well, but I'll try and grab as much as I can of that this afternoon. I've checked most of the items in both properties to see that everything works, and everything seems to be fine. That's sort of showers, heating, etc. There was the slightest smell of gas on 25's outside meter. That's been reported to Terry, the TMO at Housing 21. She's reported that to Transco 0800 111 999, and they're getting somebody out, so we've had to switch that off for the moment, but we have checked previously the heating does work. Both GSMs in are just in case the phone doesn't work, and so they're both the warden calls. It's called the warden call, even though they're now called court managers, but I think court manager call would just be taking the piss. It's a gorgeous sunny day. I need to go and have some lunch in a bit, but I do need to go back to 25 first. So, signing off.
What would we do?
Usually drink, usually dance, usually
All I
bubble.
want to do is tell you I love you.
That's when I start promising the world to a brand new girl I don't even know yet. Next thing she's wearing my Rolex.
Hi Mike, it's Andy. I'm just out the back of 25 Holly. She just moved back in today. There's a large frame outside the back window. Now I'm assuming it's because there's a drop, like a handrail. I'm assuming it's because there's a drop down to the gutter. Right, now the tenant wants this removing. Is this something I need to pass through to housing? Not a problem at all. Yep, that's fine, that's what I assumed it would be. So I just need to pass it through to housing and they'll get in touch. Brilliant, thank you very much. Speak to you later. Bye bye. Please release me, let me go, 'cause I don't want to move tenants anymore. Oh God, what's she doing now? 25 Holly is now allowing her dog to walk AWOL around number 27's property. Knows no bounds of annoying people. Like she just said to me, she's like a terrier with a bone. Oh, somebody's letting me out, that's good. Thank you very much. Thank you. Number off. 25's going back around the front again. So it's now 12:21, just turning off Holly onto Burnley Street in Chadderton. I'm going to try and grab a sandwich from Asda and a drink, and then go and meet the ladies from Housing 21 TMO team for 10 minutes for a chill in St Herbert's Court. So this is Burnley Street, there's Asda, and there in the distance the sandy coloured building, that is St Herbert's. That lady there who's just walking up with a blue bag, she's one of the wardens. In this job you do get to know a lot of the wardens from Housing 21. Crazy old bitch driving some Clio, and another crazy old bitch, but she's driving a car. Again, walking across the car park, I noticed another one of our tradesmen, that's John, one of the electricians. So, loads of people to say hello to, so you can never get bored in this job, that's fucking sure. So we're at Asda. Frequently come into Asda, but the thing is you've got to make sure you take your high vis off and your ID. Nobody minds you going for your lunch break, obviously, or as and when. As long as you don't get pestered by the locals. Nice and cool, sun's out. A day in the life of a Bullock TLO on Chadderton. 12:22 signing out.
Am I alone in your heart? Have I a hope with your heart? She's such a teaser, she's such a star. Give me a reason, or give me...
So basically, when I just made that call about the fence thing outside, it was quite clearly shown in the video, because there is a small drop of about a foot. And we know what people like Chadderton folk are like these days. If she has a slip or a fall, and she goes down even into that small drop, she'll sue the arse of Housing 21 or Bullock or whatever, even though she's requested it to be taken out. So what I'm going to have to do with that is report it to somebody at Housing 21 to come out and explain it to her. I can't see them actually removing it, and the reason that it had been put there was the main pavement itself has all been levelled off for them. Again, we do all these various things for them to help them, but again, all they seem to do is moan about it. What it turns out she's done is she spent £70, she was just saying, on a brand new shed. So again, like I try and tell all the tenants, is don't buy absolutely anything until you come back to the property, because obviously dimensions are going to change after the works here, there and everywhere. So like a lot of people, she's gone and spent 70 quid on some shed, which she's saying she won't be able to fit in the back garden because the fence has come on the property side of the bushes that go down the walkway behind them. So obviously it's less maintenance for the housing, so I can see why they've done that. And also, because there's rails there, the shed's not going to fit in perfectly, but like most tenants, she doesn't have the fucking nous to have waited. And again, she's going to complain about that, this, that and everything. So anyway, I'm going for my lunch.
I'm alone in your heart. I'm alone, it tears me apart.
Right, it's just after 1 o'clock. It's good to have sort of lunch with obviously other staff members, because it gives you a time to sort of vent on your experiences of the day or the week, but also it's good to discuss obviously things you found that you need to report to Housing 21, and if they found something they need to report to you. It's good because it's done in sort of like an unofficial way, whereas instead of sort of people sending an email or a letter or doing it through somebody's senior or whatever and everything like, oh, we have to do this, it's just a case of saying, oh, by the way, number 25 has mentioned this, and then obviously they can take it away and do something with it. Usually you keep a log of anything you passed if you want to in your diary. So I'm going to go back up to 18 Cedar now, just after 1 o'clock. I don't know if I just mentioned that. Just check how my lady lady with manic depression is going on, and then obviously I can check that everything's now out of that property, and I can also phone one of the ladies from TMOs from Housing 21 if we need to get her a taxi down to her property. I've just noticed that there's a van and a car outside her property, a small van, which I think is John's, the handyman's. So now as we're turning onto Cedar Crescent, it is absolutely roasting and it's full of cars. Coming off the top of Cedar Crescent, to the right you've got Firgrove, to the left you've got Larch, both full of vans because all those properties have been worked on, apart from one on Fir in the middle on the left because that's a private tenanted property. Righty, pulling up to number 18. In front of us is an Iveco Stralis, whatever the fuck one of those is, but to the layman it's a big truck. So there's a little movie as well, so hopefully she's cracking up nicely.
You're doing all I can do just to be close to you. Every time that we meet, I skip a heartbeat. Always up for a laugh, she's a pain in the ass. Every time that we meet, I skip a heartbeat.
Hello, Pat. Yep, I'm stood about 5 metres away from her. She is? Oh.
Today I'm not eating enough for me. She's bringing dinner again, so. No, this is a medication.
Yeah?
But it's not.
You've got your 2 remote controls there. You've got
They're in there.
your 2 remote controls there. You've got all your medication.
Yeah.
And you've got your 2 bits there. Can I help?
That could always go away.
No, I insist.
Where's that hot dog?
That's it.
That's you nutsy, isn't it?
Is something wrong?
No.
No.
Give me an evening or give me a night. I'll show you the time of your life. I'll walk you home safe from the dark. I'll give you my jacket, I'll give you my heart. But she won't come dancing tonight. She's having the time of her life.
At 9 o'clock it's all smiles. Come now, 13:31, 1:31, half 1 p.m. Terry's just pulling up. She's a temporary moves officer from Housing 21, and I'm pulling up outside number 25, who's just been on the phone on my mobile whining about electrics, etc, yada yada. I'm assuming she hasn't been told the gas isn't on yet either.
You're doing all I can do just to be close to you. Every time that we meet, I skip a heartbeat. Always up for a laugh, she's a pain in the ass. Every time that we meet, I skip a heartbeat. I do love, she does heartbreak. I did love till she broke my heart. I do love, she does heartbreak. I did love till she broke my heart. I do love, she does heartbreak. I did love till she broke my heart. I did love, she does heartbreak.
She does whine and moan and I'm sitting up there and... Yeah, but that's it, the question has to be asked, it's independent living.
Yeah, she's not independent then.
No.
Everything has been done for her.
Doing all I can do just to be close to you. Every time that we meet, I skip a heartbeat. Always up for a laugh, she's a pain in the ass. Every time that we meet, I skip a heartbeat. I skip a heartbeat for you. Doing all I can do just to be close to you. Every time that we meet, I skip a heartbeat.
Okay, so it's 2:52. It's been a busy day as expected. We've got both of today's tenants. We're going into 25 and 27. Both tenants are in the kitchen of 25 at the moment. We've got, again, handyman baggering about doing all sorts of odds and sods and still getting collared by neighbours that still want odds and sods of extra stuff. Now, one of the things we do get a lot of is people buy new stuff or replacement stuff, especially with cookers, whether it be gas or electric, and or light fittings. We definitely don't do any new stuff. Obviously, there's a liability. You go and buy some diamond encrusted light shade. Obviously, we take it out of the box. If it's damaged, it's our fault. If we install it, then it's our fault. If it's something older, then and we've taken it out, then obviously we're more likely to take the rap for anything going wrong with it. So there's a TMO on site, there's a TLO just about. Carol's come onto site, she's from Failsworth site for Bullock for ourselves, so she's hanging about for the moment. I'm just popping to Asda to use the loo. I'm going to get some money out. I need to do redirection of mail for a lady that's moved to 23. She is basically kind of taking the piss because she's demanded a permanent move for quite some time, yet she still wants us to do everything as if it was a temporary move. There seems to be a thing, there's probably 3 or 4 women that live on Holly Grove all by themselves, and they seem to be expecting the earth, and they don't seem to appreciate that they are council tenants. Not that they should be thought any less of as a person, obviously, but it's like buying Tesco value cereal and expecting it to have golden nuggets in it. It's just not the way. It's basically, as I've always termed it for myself, needs must housing. So, second time back to Asda. Oh dear, just had a warning on about another tenant on Rosewood, temporary tenants blinds being too long, but the lady from the blinds company says that they're fine, so okay. Just been to Chadderton Mall, pick up some redirection of mail forms. Just basically go back into the property and take some more shite and see what's happening. Signing out again. Au revoir. It's 15:24.
It's been the longest winter without you. I didn't know where to turn to. See, somehow I can't forget you. After all that we've been through. Going, coming, gonna hurt and I'll lose that no one. Thinking that I deserve it. And now I realize that I really didn't know. You didn't notice. I mean everything quickly.
Finally got the GSMs working on both properties. Both tenants are in both properties. And just coming back to my car so I can get redirection of mail form and some cash for a neighbouring tenant, and then I can phone Virgin for number 25 and just get their phone on basically. Signing out for the moment. 5:10, still here, thinking about utilities, post, etc, etc, etc. Okay, so it's just before 6 o'clock PM. Should have finished at 4:30. Finally going home. One of my final notes for the evening would have to be that it's no wonder that there are so many single women in their early 70s on Holly Grove in Chadderton.
I couldn't live without you.